How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. I got an email a couple of weeks ago just about a person who was saying to me that they were sick of the whole thought process that they were putting into quitting drinking alcohol, whether they should quit altogether or whether they should moderate. And this person usually gets sort of into it for a few weeks or a couple of months, and then they go back on. They just start thinking that they can take it again, that they can moderate, that they're missing things, with their friends, and they're missing the life, and yeah, definitely they can go back and do it again, and just drink a couple or drink whatever it is. And it's it's human nature for a start to think once the pain has gone away that the pain is gone forever, that the pain won't come back. But that's the sneakiness of this type of behavior, that your mind will send you these signals, and it's nothing to do with the alcohol, right? It's not the alcohol voice. It's not. I hear a lot about this thing called PAWS, post-alcohol withdrawal syndrome, and I don't believe in any of that. Let me put that out there. And because it's like it's one of those things again that people use to hold themselves back to alcohol. It's like the AA philosophy of you're always an alcoholic, and the fact that somebody can think that they're getting alcohol withdrawal syndrome months down the road. I don't believe that, I just don't believe that. I think it's another con which is put out there by the quit alcohol industry to try and draw people in to this alcoholness, of your habit, and it's nothing to do with that, in my opinion, right? All I can give you is my opinion about this. That there's nothing to do with the alcohol. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling whatever way, if you're feeling depressed, it's nothing to do with the alcohol. It's got to do with the behavior. You're thinking about the behavior, about you thinking that it's the alcohol. It's got something to do with the alcohol, I've got no proof of this, right? I've got no proof that there is no such thing as pause, but there's no proof that there is such a thing as pause, as post-alcohol withdrawal syndrome. There's just no proof about it, It's somebody's made it up and they're selling it for all they can. Now, I believe, as everyone knows, that this is a habit, it's a behaviour. And drinking alcohol is a behaviour. I'm back over here now in Ireland, and everything about this whole thing, this being here in the same place that I've lived for 20 years, right? Everything about it. I grew up around here from, my son grew up around here, so I was here for all of his sort of youth, and it's like when I first, I was worried about getting off the plane and getting into a right-hand drive car again and driving on the left, and what would happen if I made a mistake, and all this kind of stuff. Got into the car, drove out of the airport parking lot where we hired the car from, and it was like just stepping back 5 years. I didn't recognise anything of Dublin. Dublin's changed beyond what I remember it to be, but I didn't live in Dublin. But the closer we got to Limerick, and then we got into Limerick and we started heading down towards Clare, and it was just like I hadn't left. And then walking down the streets of Venice, and just, it was a novelty for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, seeing faces that I hadn't seen. I was talking about this in another video. It's just, you see people, but they've aged 5 years. That's a bit strange, You see, same old, the same businesses there, the same pubs, the same shops. The shops look the same, it's just everything looks the same. And it's very easy for your brain to go whoop and just go into that way of thinking again. It's just, I know my way around. Like as I was driving up to Ennis, I was thinking, how do I get there and how do I get there? And I had to think about it. As soon as I drove into Ennis, it was just like automatic pilot. All these habitual behaviours came back to me, and it was weird going into a pub and ordering a pint of Guinness for my partner and then ordering something different for me, an alcohol-free beer for myself. But because I've been off the alcohol for so long, and because I've rooted myself in that behaviour, it wasn't difficult. It was weird sitting there with the pint of Guinness on the table. That was strange, but it wasn't strange in the feeling that I had a craving for it or a desire for it, because my mind doesn't think that way. I'm not letting my mind think that way, and that's what it's all about. If you push yourself into the direction where you think that you're going to have cravings 6 months down the road, and somebody gives it a name and says this is what it is, then that's basically what you're going to believe. It's easy to sort of grab a hold of a label and go, well, this fits with my symptom, that fits my symptom, and or my symptom fits that label. They're telling me this is what happens. I mean, it's the same with alcohol withdrawal. Shakiness, feelings of anxiety, and all these. If you look at the symptoms of alcohol withdrawal in the first few days after you've quit alcohol, they're almost identical with the feelings of a hangover, right? And that's basically what you're getting, is that hangover feeling, And I'm convinced that a lot of people, the anxiety builds up everything else until it becomes a problem, an issue in their lives, because there's so many people, even people who are hardened drinkers, right, who make the firm commitment to say, I'm stopping drinking forever, right, this is it, right, and that's it, they quit. It's the same as, I always believed that when I was growing up, that if you took one shot of heroin, that you were screwed, that was it, you were hooked for life. And that kept me away from heroin, thank God. But, when in the lead up to my granddaughter being born, I was just curious, and I was reading up about different things, and I wanted to sort of read about some of the drugs that were administered to women during childbirth, and one of those is a morphine-based pill, a morphine-based medication to, give them a high. It's an opiate-based medication, and it was weird, because I was talking to her about it afterwards, and she was saying she didn't know where she was, and all these different symptoms, and she was asking the nurse. Sean was saying to me that she was asking the nurse whether this was like what it was like to taking cocaine and all this kind of stuff, but it was what she was taking was actually a derivative. It's hospital grade heroin. It's just heroin by a different name, obviously it's a bit purer, but it's the same stuff. So, and she came out of the hospital and she wasn't in any way, shape or form hooked on it. She wasn't asking for more heroin when she came out, because she's led to believe, she's not led to believe that once you go onto it that you're going to be hooked for the rest of your life, and basically what you believe is 9/10 of what you're going to carry through in your thoughts. So I started out this by talking about moderation, and for me that whole thing of moderation is just trying to fight the same battle over and over and over again, right? You are forever trying to pull yourself back a little bit from drinking what you want to drink, and then gradually moving back into that. It might be a bit by bit, it might be the next week that you go back into the old volumes that you're consuming, and then you have to do the same thing over and over and over again. You quit drinking and you do it once, and you vow to yourself that you're never going to do it again. And whatever you need to do to get that into your head, you need to do, but you need to do it. There's no other way of doing this, and anything else is an excuse. Anything else is just, it's. So I always say to try and push yourself as far away from certain elements of your old lifestyle. The bars and the pubs, and that lifestyle has got to go. You've got to make so many changes in that lifestyle so that you're not being dragged down that road. And I'm not suggesting that anyone has to stay at home and do nothing and push themselves in a direction where they're bored all the time, because you've got to just learn how to do different things, and there's a big wide world out there where you can learn a lot of different things, so you just have to do it. Anyway, look, for anyone who's contemplating moderation, just think about that no matter how long you do this for, your mind is always going to want to go back to what you were before, just because just think about what I said to you earlier on about me coming back here and 5 years away from the place, and I'm back here for a couple of hours and it just feels like I haven't left. When I think about Spain now, as I'm walking down this forestry path, it's weird. I could be, if I had a chainsaw in my hand now, this is exactly what I used to do 5 years ago as a job, walking down forestry tracks like this on my own with a map, a compass, my chainsaw, a bag on my back, and my brain wouldn't know any different. My brain could fit straight back into that mold now, and I'd remember it all as if I was doing it yesterday. And that's exactly what your brain does. So if you keep pushing yourself back into those old situations, it's just going to be like a vicious circle all the way through, from here until the day that you die. You'll moderate, you'll go back to the same drinking again. You'll moderate, you'll go back to the same, and the tolerance levels are going to continue to have their effect on you. So eventually you'll just give up and you'll go, well, I can't do it anymore. I failed so many times at this moderation thing that I'm just going to give in. And then where do you go from there? It's a losing battle. It's one that you're never going to win. And what's the point in it? What are you gaining out of it? All you're doing is chugging down poison. So stop doing it now. You win the battle. As soon as you stop doing it, as soon as you say, no more, I'm not doing this anymore, and that's it. Regardless of what happens, you don't drink anymore. You get rid of the tolerance, right? You get rid of all the vicious cycle of moderation that you have to do, because if you don't do the moderation, you go into the spiral. Hey, look, I'm going to leave it there anyway. I'm not sure if this is going to be the last video I'm doing out here. I'm out here for another few days, and I'll try and get out and do another couple of videos. But if I don't, the next ones you'll see will be me back in sunny Spain. Although the clouds are sort of receding, and that is sort of something of a bit of sun coming through. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Stay safe, keep the alcohol out your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now.